Hi everybody. Welcome back to the building business with Tiffany, the Brick Lady Tillema. How are y'all this morning? Hopefully you're doing good. You may be watching this later, so it may be afternoon where you are, but today we're going to talk about construction in 2022 so far. We are a little over halfway done with 2022, and there are things that are still concerning, and there are things that are seeming to get better. So let's talk about some of those. One, how is construction in general doing? Well, residential is booming. Residential, you don't make quite as much unless you're doing small jobs such as fireplaces and fire pits and mailboxes. But residential is going up. I went through Farmersville, Texas the other day. It's been like 6 months since I've been there. And unbelievable growth. There's so many houses going up that they don't have enough masons to cover those houses with. I had a guy call me and beg me to come do just a few houses so that he could catch up. I don't do a whole lot of just plain residential. If it's a new home, I'm not going to put the brick or the stone on it. It's just not worth my time and my money. There's more money in commercial, even though commercial is having their own problems right now. So residential, it's really booming. So if you are a residential construction person, let me know. How is your business doing this year? Now, with commercial, it's slowed down a little bit. We're still seeing a lot of growth in commercial construction, a lot of stuff from states and schools. So if you are into commercial construction, you might want to look into municipal construction because that's where everything is growing right now. I have a feeling that that's going to keep growing very slowly but surely. We've gotten more and more. They don't want to pay the prices that we need sometimes, but materials have gone up and labor has gone down. And that's one of the things that's a problem this year, was getting the labor. I still don't have enough laborers and masons. I've got ads out all the time trying to get laborers and masons, and it's not working. I don't know if people just don't want to work or they already have a job, but that's the trend that I'm seeing, is that we really don't have enough labor to go around. I've got masons that are my quote unquote competition, and they call all the time and say, we need you to do this, or we need you to do that. And most of the time I'm like, I don't have the labor to do it with. I don't have the labor to do my own jobs, much less take on one of yours. I have cooperated with a couple of masons this year in trying to get jobs done, doing labor only prices for their jobs and subbing it out. I don't really like doing that. I do make sure that I do have a contract with the subcontractor, because I would be a third tier subcontractor, and that sometimes gets complicated. But there's more work than there is labor right now, and so we're seeing that trend. Another thing that's happening is the inability to get materials. Now, there was a huge infrastructure bill that was passed, which is working on roads and bridges and things like that. That has cut into our supplies, coupled with COVID the last 2 years, where our material suppliers have gotten behind because they cut down employees, and nobody had anybody that could deliver. And so now materials are behind. I've got materials personally that when I order it doesn't come in for 10 to 12 weeks, especially if it's a custom order. I ordered custom block, it took 10 weeks to get here because they just don't have it. It's not on the yard. Used to, you could call and it would be on the yard, or even if it was a custom order, it just took them a little while to make it. Now, there's nothing on the yard. If you want just plain block, you're going to get seconds sometimes and have to send them back. I would rather wait than to use things that have chips and cracks and just aren't made right. So, materials are really hard to come by right now. It's getting a little better, but not a whole lot. I mean, brick is out 8 weeks, block is out 12 weeks if you have a custom order. If you don't have a custom order, it's still 8 to 10 weeks most of the time. I did order some brick for a small job the other day for a restoration job, and I just happened to have it on the yard enough for me to do because it wasn't a huge job. And I got it the next day, and I was so surprised I wasn't even ready. I had to send somebody to meet the guy to put the brick, show him where the brick goes, because I was just so used to lately not even getting materials until way late. Materials, that's the thing that is really, really, it really bothers me because it bothers my customers. My customers are like, what? I gotta wait 10 weeks? I'm sorry, it's not my fault. I promise I'm not doing that on purpose. I need to make money too. So your material being out that far cuts into my ability to take on other jobs, and then I don't have anything in between. So it is crazy. Materials seem to be a little bit off when you get them. There's a lot of calls for some reason, and this is using providers that I've used for years and years and years, and so material quality has gone down. So when you do get your materials eventually, then sometimes they're not the best quality and you have to start all over. There is a job I'm working on right now. Actually, we just finished, and I guess it was the electricians had something that was coming in. Won't be until September, October. And this job's been a year in the making. So it's really difficult as a contractor to be able to make money enough with the material shortages and the material problems to make money. When you have to wait for materials, it costs time and money for everybody, not just me or the other subcontractors, the other trades. It's everybody. Everybody's hurting in that direction. So that's another thing. What did I go over? I'm looking at my notes here. I guess that was all I was going to talk about. There are some funds available if you can get them to help with the problems you're having. Look into that if you are having difficulty. And I mean, construction is just going to continue to go up. It's not going to be something that is ever going to go away. There's always going to be somebody building something for somebody else. And so it's important that if you're struggling right now as a contractor for some reason, don't give up. Just keep on going. I mean, there's opportunities everywhere. You just got to take those opportunities. And a lot of people are just doing little odd jobs right now because they don't have the labor and the materials to do the big ones. But we need to get back to doing the big ones, and so we need to help one another when we can and just hold on, because eventually our materials will catch up, our labor will catch up, and we will have a lot of work to do in the future. Hopefully by 2023 midway, this will be like old times instead of like the struggle it's been for the last 3.5 years. So again, this is Tiffany, the Brick Lady Tillema. Don't forget to visit The Building Business, which is my blog, my YouTube channel, Tillema Contracting and Design, and of course my podcast, The Building Business. Y'all have a great morning or afternoon, whichever it is, and we will see you next time.